Is AI killing our ability to get into flow? And primarily, I'm concerned around whether getting into flow at work is being affected by the rise in tools that we can use with AI in order to do a lot of tasks for us. Now, this is a big concern because for many of us, finding flow comes more readily at work rather than in our leisure time. And because it's such a high state of meaning and fulfillment for our lives, is flow at risk, and therefore is our sense of purpose and meaning at work also jeopardized by this rise in AI? Now, certainly some of the tasks that we are required to do for our jobs is being changed up quite dramatically due to the rise in the abilities of AI. And I myself have found that some of the things that I would often get into flow with, like brainstorming ideas or drafting articles, has now been almost completely taken over by the use of AI tools like ChatGPT being able to draft out articles and sound like you really well and very quickly too. But with this comes another opportunity, particularly because change is inevitable with these developments in AI tools and other technologies over time. I'm sure that people often saw the rise in using a keyboard and typing on a computer as another thing that was threatening their flow states when it was all handwritten before. Now that we've got this extra step in place, I think that there's an opportunity for us to not see it as so much of a threat for our flow states at work, but how we can use this as a way to enhance what our flow states are defined as to get into even higher states of flow with those primary activities in our work. So, for example, I find that I'm doing a lot more editing and final versions of content that I create and also drafting the main idea. But because I've got these powerful AI tools in the middle of that whole process, it's actually able to cut down on the time that it takes to take an idea into a more polished form that can actually go out as content to be created. And so some of that middle work that would normally be a little bit tedious at times and definitely not a high flow state, but something that would demand some of your flow in order to really produce at a high level, can now be utilized with AI to help you to generate the bigger piece of content that you're creating. I found this to be actually really powerful and helpful in the way I'm creating content, and not so much impacting my ability to get into flow, but enhancing it with different ways and different methods that it's forcing me to adapt and grow to the new challenge of, which is another way that we can trigger flow and why work is such a high flow state for a lot of people, because there's more challenge, requires more skill than what we often put forward into our leisure time. Now, the other thing that feels threatened by this rise in AI around flow states is our creativity, because a lot of these AI tools are able to generate images and video content that looks really impressive. But is that taking away from natural creative abilities, or is it enhancing it further? I know for myself, I'm terrible with artwork and can't draw at all, but using some of these AI tools really actually helps me to bring to life what's in my mind and what I'm imagining as far as a creative idea and putting it into the world in a visual format. So I think that we just have to adapt in the same sense with what AI is capable of doing and using our natural creative abilities and honing them, enhancing them in different ways with these different tools. And I was talking to a friend who also is using AI tools for generating images because that's their preferred medium for content creation. And I was talking to a friend who's using more digital art with Midjourney and other AI art tools as their preferred medium for creating artwork. And it's just leading me to think like the opportunities for individuals who maybe don't have natural artistic gifts with painting or drawing or anything like that, or even with physical limitations that make it harder to draw or create art. Now it's opening this world of possibility for them. So it's again another situation where we just need to rise in our own skills if we want to sort of fight against the AI or embrace this new possibility and work with it. Now, I think the other powerful way that AI can help us with flow at work is by limiting or reducing some of those more mundane tasks. Like I mentioned, some of those tasks that we could find flow in but aren't super high flow states with, no longer we have to even do at all because we can get AI to do that work for us. So we can dedicate more of our time and focus on those tasks and on those skills that really help us to get into flow states. And I think this is a powerful way to look at the situation of AI and flow at work as well. With this, it's important, I think, to recognize that distraction becomes more and more a possibility, especially if other people are using AI tools to pump out more and more content or outreach to you, try to schedule appointments. All these different things that these tools make even easier now means we just have to be much more protective of our deep work and focus time so that we can actually get into flow with whatever those primary activities are for us. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on how flow is going to be impacted by AI. Have you used any of these tools in any of your workflows? And what have you found to be the results? Are you using it to enhance your work, or are you finding it threatening and trying to stay away from it and just avoid it altogether? Leave a comment down below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.